Today's adventure, pressure cookers. We're gonna blow this thing up and spread chicken parts all over the wall. Wait, no, that's what we want to not have happen. If this were a bad sitcom, you'd see this thing explode. Hopefully, we won't. Good luck. And the first thing I'm cooking in my pressure cooker is pinto beans. I found some beans at the store. They are a little old because everything here tends to be anyway. So on the stovetop, they didn't really cook well. So I'm hoping the pressure cooker does better. It's on a super low fire, still boiling. Took 7 minutes to get up to pressure, and I will cook it at pressure for 25 minutes and let it depressurize naturally. If you pop that little weight off, it will release the pressure faster, but tends to make the beans split. And these are old and they're going to split anyway. This has a cool safety there in the handle. The new ones all have that. That little silver thing, as long as there's pressure, that's up and it locks the handle. When the pressure releases, that will drop down. Our old ones did not have that. And our tea kettle whistles now. These are 2 new pans from the US. I like them. These were some pretty old beans. I know they're dried, but I think they can still get old. These didn't cook up at all on the stovetop when I tried it. So this bag I threw in the pressure cooker. They softened up so well. I've heard people talk about beans that are creamy, and I never understood the concept until today. These are amazingly good. And they're going perfect with this chicken. Wait, chicken? What chicken? Oh yeah, this chicken. Okay, the chicken and the lemongrass are picked fresh from the yard. You may have to get yours from a store. We just tie the lemongrass into a bundle. We're going to put it into the chicken cavity. That is calamansi juice. She's rubbing the chicken with calamansi juice, similar to a lime. And it's going to get pepper rubbed on it also. And
we will sprinkle it in the pot.
And what else goes inside the chicken? Or does everything else just go in the pot?
Just lemongrass.
Just lemongrass inside the chicken. Okay. Okay, we got in the oyster sauce, soy sauce, pepper, salt. Got our string tied on it for retrieval. Chopped up onions, and now it gets Sprite or 7-Up. I'm not sure what the recipe calls for.
Chicken Sprite.
Sprite is more syrupy than 7-Up, so it might actually cook better and give it more of a, because that sugar caramelizes. Is there any other liquid in there? Any water, or is it just the Sprite's the only liquid?
Okay.
Okay. That really sounds like it would be terrible. But I've had it before and it's good.
Okay.
And we usually do it stovetop. It takes hour and a half, something a long time. So we're going to try it in the pressure cooker. We are not sure how long it needs. This experiment didn't work so well. The chicken is cooked, it turned out really well, but the sauce doesn't boil out in the pressure cooker, so it didn't caramelize, and it was just wrong. Not bad, but wrong. They say a watched pot never boils. I call bullshit on that one, because I watched it boil. I'm watching it keep boiling. I can't take my eyes off of it, and it's still boiling. Well, I had that pot of beans already made, so I used some of it to make chili. I've had a good, productive day. Sorry about the mess, but we've been on quarantine and arranging the house. But I'm back on my 2 monitors. And right now my PlayStation / Chromecast monitor is off. Woohoo! I was unsure about baked potatoes, but they turned out phenomenally well. You go for 10 minutes at pressure and then let them vent for about 10 minutes naturally before you pop the pressure. They are so much better than microwaved. Not as flaky as an oven, but they're cooking fast, and they turned out really, really well. And I've missed baked potatoes because we don't have a microwave. Today's experiment is meatloaf. Now, I have always been a ketchup on top kind of person, but we're out of ketchup. So today, I'm a barbecue sauce on top kind of person. But I've never done this in a pressure cooker. The interwebs swear it works. You form a pan out of foil, leaving handles up high, so you can pull it out later and cook it for 25 minutes. We'll find out. It is not up to pressure yet, but you see it popped up because it's up enough that you can't open it. I've never done a pressure cooker meatloaf, and my concern is that all the grease is just going to sit there and kind of rise to the top and be like this gelatinous mess on the meatloaf. Hopefully not. I would think that would, tends to dry out more in the oven. If it does, I will scrape it off and put it on a little fake oven to try and brown it. We'll see what happens. It's an experiment. As I said, it's an experiment. I checked it with the thermometer. It is cooked all the way through. It is not browned, and I knew it would not be, but it is full of grease, as I suspected. So next time, poke holes in the foil and let that grease dump out into the pan. I'm going to drain off the grease and put it in the little fake oven here for a few minutes to brown it up a little, just to make it more appealing. I was really unsure about this meatloaf. It turned out really, really good. Even Melanie loved it. We just browned it a little bit in our little oven, but it cooked in this pressure cooker amazingly well. Please pardon the half-eaten lunch, but I just wanted to show you this meatloaf. It's solid, it stays together well. I wasn't sure if it was going to be soggy. Cooked in a steamer. That's basically all a pressure cooker is. It cuts well. It browned up. I did put it in the little fake oven for a few minutes just to brown the top a little. Didn't make any real difference, except it just looks nicer. But yeah, the consistency's great. The taste is really good. I'm just gonna have to poke holes in the little fake foil pan next time to let the oil drain out, because it did kind of float in the oil too much. So lunch is served. And the baked potatoes. Oh, I didn't know baked potatoes could be so good in a pressure cooker. The skins are soft and wonderful. It's not quite as flaky as it would be in an oven, but for cooking in 15 minutes, I ain't gonna complain. And I don't have a good oven. I tend to say that I make this up as I go along, and this one really is. I'm making the marinade for the roast, and I am making it up as I go along. It has like a couple teaspoons of sage, teaspoon of oregano, some mustard seed, a pinch of clove, because I just bought some and I thought, why not? Some minced garlic, grated ginger. I zested a calamansi. I was going to do a lemon, but we don't have any. Going to get some soy sauce, vinegar, and water, and we're going to put it in a bag, throw it in the fridge overnight, and we'll cook it tomorrow. This is the pork in its bowl, wrapped up in a bag with marinade, ready to sit overnight. We do brown the meat, although it is just decorative. The whole concept of sealing in the juices has been thoroughly debunked by real science, and any cook that says they're sealing in the juices is mistaken. It looks nice, but it is unnecessary. While the roast is going, I've got it set for 45 minutes. When it's done, I will pop that cap, vent it quickly, throw in the veggies, put the cap back on, build up pressure, and cook it another 10 minutes. The potatoes I'll cut right before putting them in because I don't want to turn brown. They're going to be cut like, you know, about this size. That's not a potato, but that's about the size. For the onions, I just cut them in half, peeled them, and just separated the pieces. So it's just big chunks, separated all the layers. They're going to mush down pretty quickly. The carrots are pretty small, so I was cutting them on a bias at an angle to get a little bit larger piece out of it. And I cut them kind of big because I think the pressure cooker is going to mush them up more than I would want. They're all going on for only 10 minutes though. So this will be the hardest thing to cook, and 10 minutes is enough to soften a potato. These will be fine. If the potatoes are done, these are fine. I would probably throw in some mushrooms if I had any, but I don't. I wasn't prepared for this. The marinade is the cooking liquid and will probably become the base for the gravy. I'll probably have to give it a little taste to see what it's like. It could get weird. This was not planned in advance at all. Just turn the fire off. This is always the fun part. We'll let that release real quick and check the temperature. On a roast, they say you're looking for a 190 internal temperature Fahrenheit. Seems kind of high. Usually they say meat's around like 160, but we'll find out. Pressure cooker usually hits 200 on everything. The pressure is almost gone. And there it is. It's been 45 minutes. Checking the pork, it goes up to just under 200, so it's fine. Like I said, they call for 190 on pork, whereas most meat is usually cooked to 160. I'm not sure why pork calls for 190, but I'm not going to argue with them. That's what the interwebs all say. But I'm going to go ahead and do the veggies with this. Another 10 minutes. The carrots were already kind of mushy, but that's all we could get locally, so they weren't very good, but they didn't start out very good. The onions were amazing, and the potatoes were good. I chopped the potatoes up in various sizes. Some will probably almost melt, some will stay chunky, which is what I'm looking for. And the onion and carrots are ready to go. Piled around the roast, it looks like a lot of veggies, but it's not so much, and it's going to cook down. Now pop the lid back on, and another 10 minutes at pressure. I let it vent naturally for 10 minutes because I don't want to, like, the potatoes will rupture if you pop it too quickly, and an extra few minutes isn't going to hurt anything. After 10 minutes you can pop it. It's usually okay, and potatoes will survive. Open it away from you in case it's steamy. Ooh, it's steamy. The smell is amazing. If it tastes half as good as it smells, we're in business. When I went to slice it, it is a little more fall apart tender than I had anticipated, which is not a bad thing, but yeah, it doesn't come off in slices, it comes off in pieces, and I'm okay with that because that was a tough cut of meat. So to come out this tender, I'm cool with it. Should have made more veggies. It wasn't as much as it looked. There was more inside, but I'm having a good bit now. Should be a salad right there, but we don't have any. Now we got to try the gravy. Well, that was about 3 weeks worth of pressure cooker fun. Melanie likes the pressure cooker. She likes what I make with it, but she is still kind of scared to use it herself. I don't recall ever using a stovetop pressure cooker. I mean, if I ever used one, I don't remember it. When I cooked at Chili's, we used to do ribs, and we do we had a big electric pressure cooker, we would do a whole case of ribs at a time. It looked kind of like this big monster, but it was on wheels. It was it's actually kind of fun, and that should have been scary because that was a big sumbitch. We had a rack. We could roll an entire case of ribs put in there at one time. It was big because you pressure cooker your ribs before you grill them. They're yummy. Slow cooking is probably better, but it was Chili's. Who's got time for slow cooking? When we very, very first introduced the baby back ribs, I was cooking there, and oh, they were ridiculously popular. So I used that big pressure cooker a lot. Now I have one at the house. Like I said, I don't remember ever having one at the house, and it's wonderful. So we learned that baked potatoes take 10 minutes and are amazing. Yes, they're flakier if you do it in the oven, but this is way better than a microwave and not that much longer. The chicken, well, that recipe is a stovetop recipe where the liquid boils out and this, like the sugars in the Sprite would caramelize as a sauce on the chicken, and it turns out really good. It sounds bad, I admit, but it's really good. In the pressure cooker, nothing boils out, nothing caramelizes. So if we were to do that again, we would have to do the sauce separately. So for that particular recipe, it needs to stay stovetop. Whole chickens work fine. That was a bad sauce because you put that much liquid in, you still have that much liquid. It doesn't boil out. It didn't taste bad. It didn't get the caramelized sauce. She didn't like it, but it really wasn't bad. A little too much lemongrass, to be honest. Beans worked out amazingly well, and then they made good chili. I had a couple bowls of just beans and rice. Then I just threw some beef in there and made some chili out of the rest of it. Turned out really good. What else did we do? Oh, yeah. The roast pork. That was amazing. Oh my God. The roast was smaller than I thought. It looked bigger in the bowl, but once I started prepping it and putting it in that pan, I was like, yeah, that's not as big as I thought. But it was good. Super tender, fall apart. The gravy turned out really good. I used just a little bit of the cooking liquid because it had a very strong flavor, and then a lot of the butter and flour just to make a regular roux. Add in that cooking liquid to open it up to a gravy, and it turned out really good. Gravy turned out very nice. This is the best meal I've made in the pressure cooker yet. Let's eat. Enjoy your day in paradise.